Hello everyone, I'm glad you can join me, and this video is the 2017 channel manifesto. We did one of these last year and it's basically the plans for the channel going forward, so if you're watching it you know what to expect. Some of the stuff we'll keep to, well hopefully most of the stuff, and other things won't happen, no doubt, and we'll think of new ideas. So it's a bit like the budget in the UK, where some guy hands over a briefcase like this, says look, we've done the budget, this is what's going to happen on the channel. Now I've made a few pointers here. I hope you like these. I like to keep you updated, and at some point we might do a Q&A, but I'll come to that. So first pointer, here's PS4 games. Right, now this game is well, it's a retro gaming channel, though quite often we will look at PlayStation 4 games now because I do own a PlayStation 4. And I did do a video, it was a rant video actually, thinking should I be uploading these in 60 frames per second, which involve getting a new capture card, which is quite costly, you know. And a few people told me they never watch the videos in 1080p anyway, the high resolution, because their broadband speed isn't quick enough. So I'm just thinking, is it worth 60 frames a second? I mean, I probably will do it at some point, but is it urgent? What do you think about that? I mean, I did originally have plans of uploading PlayStation 4 games at least in 1080p, 60 frames per second, but would 30 frames per second be okay? Let me know what you think about that. Although I was definitely going to do it, I'm a bit on the fence now, so not quite sure what's going to happen. But there's going to be more PlayStation 4 games every now and again. I'm not saying it's going to be constant, but we will be looking at them in some sort of gameplay feel or something. Point 2. For the last, I don't know, about 3 or 4 months, I've been doing a ZX Spectrum Revisited series. And basically the idea behind that is some of the games I'm most familiar with. When I first started the channel, or the reboot, I was reviewing games, but my sound wasn't very good because I didn't really have a microphone. It was a broken headset where I was speaking through the earpieces, and man, it sounded like it. Quite often it sounded like I was speaking through a sync, and I was still finding my style, which I'm a bit more relaxed now. We can joke around a bit more, something that blends in my quite often terrible gameplay, and quite often there's stuff I miss on the game, and you let me know, which is great. But yeah, we've been going through about 17 odd Spectrum games and redoing them so they're a bit better. Coming to the end of that now, so I thought I might do something similar with the Amiga games. Now I know some people just watch this channel just for the Spectrum games, and some people watch it just for the Amiga games, and I get comments or messages saying, can you do more Spectrum games? Can you do more Amiga games? Well, I try and keep it balanced throughout. The ZX Spectrum games always get the most views out of anything, because that seems to be the most popular device at the moment. Whether that will always be the case, I'm not sure. So it might be a time, I hope it doesn't, but there might be a time where Spectrum dies down, Amiga takes over for a while, or Game Boy Advance or PlayStation 1 suddenly comes in vogue and people don't watch quite as much Spectrum games as the market gets saturated. So that's my idea. Although I'll keep doing them, I'll keep to the systems I'm actually reviewing, and we'll do a bit of a mixture, because it is different eras and you can compare back how things evolved, which is always quite good fun, rather than just sticking to one system the whole time. On the Revisited series, as I said, we'll do some Amiga ones. I think some of the early ones I did was Stunt Car Racer, Ivan Stewart's Super Off-Road, which was pretty excellent. The Lotus series, Test Drive 2. There'll be a few other ones as well that I'll redo. I won't do all of them, but I'll just pick and choose. Probably do about 12 or 13. And speaking of that as well, I want to have a revisited look again at one of my favourite games of all time. Doesn't look like much if you're seeing it for the first time, if you was born 10 years ago. But it was Need for Speed 3, Hot Pursuit on the PlayStation 1. There is a review of it on this channel, but it's in 3 ungainly chunks, and it's terrible. Basically, it's me holding a dodgy camera at a television screen, so all the colour was lost. Some people do that well. I've never really got the hang of it, and it shows. So I want to do that properly with a game capture. There is another Need for Speed video I did on the PlayStation 1 where it showed the hidden tracks, so you compare the quality of that with the past ones. You think, oh, that's vastly different. So it'll probably be quite a long video, that one. We might do a knockout championship or something similar. Need for Speed 3 and Amiga games revisited. So point 4, It was commented a little bit before. I haven't done any PlayStation 1 games for a little while. The only reason why I did PlayStation 1 games is I had a few myself, so I thought I might well do them. And a subscriber to the channel very generously did send in, twice in fact, a lot of PlayStation 1 games. And then I just naturally reviewed them. And then I run out again and come to a bit of an end. So I will be, nowadays you can download some PlayStation 1 games from the PSN store for PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4. In fact, you can do PlayStation 2 as well. I haven't reviewed any PlayStation 2 games as of yet, but that might change, I don't know. But we're going to stick to PlayStation 1. And there's a few I'd like to download. The Tekken series, Destruction Derby, that's a good one. I'm not sure if the sequel to Destruction Derby is there, but if it is, I'll probably have a look at that as well. Just to show you a few more PlayStation games, because I do get quite a bit of enjoyment there. I think Crash Bandicoot Racing's there also, and that might be worth a look at for sure. A lot of these games as well, when you download it, they're cross-play, so I can play it on my PS Vita or I'm on the bus also. So that's either extra incentive for me to get that and get some more PlayStation 1 games into the can. Where are we now? Yes, pinball. We've got to talk about pinball, of course. Now, before, up to very recently, at the end of 2016, I was reviewing Pinball Arcade and Zen Pinball 2 on the PlayStation 3. But graphics are slightly better for those tables on the PlayStation 4. Sometimes it's marginal, sometimes it's a lot better. Coming to the end nearly of reviewing the whole of Season 5 on the PlayStation 3 of the Pinball Arcade. When Season 6 eventually comes out, which I'm sure it will, we'll just do that on the PlayStation 4, so just jump to it. The reason why I'm not reviewing all the tables again on the PlayStation 4 is Farsight Studios that produce that, they're making you pay again if you have it on the PlayStation 4, and I think, well, I own it on the PlayStation 3. The gap, although it's a nice gap, it's not big enough for me to pay again, albeit it's half price. So, you know, you think half price, that's okay. But when you look at the amount of tables I've got, I'm not buying 5 seasons again for half price. That costs a fortune. Any future Zen Pinball 2 tables will be reviewed straight on the PlayStation 4. Reviewing a few others that I've already done the PlayStation 3, some of my favourite ones. And unlike Farsight Studios, which I've mentioned before, Zen Studios, who produce Pinball Arcade, I think it's called FX2 on Steam, they don't charge you again, so that's more like it. So I can get those for free, so, you know, I might as well do those at my own leisure. And then we're reviewing those as they come out, which is a bit of a new one for the channel. I think most recently, Zen Pinball 2, they've got some Marvel tables, like Women of Marvel, and also, as well, I think it's going to be quite interesting, some tables based around Doom and Far Cry. So I'll probably look at those at some page as well. So yeah, the PlayStation 3 might die down a bit. I've got a few games I need to review still on the PlayStation 3, most notably Alien Isolation, which I've had in the can for a while to do, Need for Speed Most Wanted, and there's another one as well, which I recently downloaded for £3.29 from the PSN store. I didn't mean to download it, but I saw Tekken Tag 2 for £3.29, so, you know, I just had to buy it. So those three will be going up maybe in the next few months. Now with those new games, you have to watch it a bit that you don't get caught out, because so many bits can get a picture copyright strike. So suddenly you get adverts and you don't own the video. Most notably with EA Electronic Arts, I'm really going to have to be careful for the Need for Speed Most Wanted. It might be a case that I can't do any of the mini games because of the intro at the start, and I'll just be driving around free roam. It takes a bit of working out, but there's too many greedy people. You'd think they want their game put everywhere so people can look at it and buy it, but no. That's Electronic Arts for you. What is going on there? So it will continue being a retro channel, as I said, although we'll look at the PlayStation 4 as well. So that means there'll be plenty more Spectrum reviews to come. At the moment it's been 1 a week, but if people want 2 a week, I'm sure I can squeeze that in. There'll be the Commodore Amiga, the 16-bit technology, the Game Boy Advance, which I'm a fan of. They'll keep going up. Still loads and loads of games to review there. And thank you for your suggestions of what games to review, because it really is helpful. Gives me a big back catalogue to choose from if I can get hold of them. Let's face it, I've got a huge list now. I'm not going to run out of any games soon. But that just means if you still recommend any games for me to play or review. Doesn't matter if they're bad, doesn't matter if they're terrible, because this channel is not about reviewing just all the good games. It's about reviewing all the games on all the different levels, so you can basically tell what's a good game and what's a bad game. Sometimes my opinion, I might think the game's great, you might think it's rubbish, and vice versa. I'm not one of these reviewers that look at reviews elsewhere and think, well, that got a good review, I'll have to review it and say it's good. I won't do that. I'll just say what I think about it, which I think is best to be honest, and that comes across. You want an honest channel rather than someone that just copies other stuff. I think I'm right, aren't I? Yeah, I think I'm right. Now, the rants, my stress isn't so bad now. It seemed to have got over it. And the rant videos, you haven't seen them, it's about 5 or 6 minutes where I pick a subject that I've been reading about or that's annoyed me, and I'd rant about it a little bit. Not effing and jeffing, just say what I thought really. So there's things like universities spending £10,000 on nap pods, the UN appointing Wonder Woman, a fictional character, as their special envoy for women, although I think they've changed their mind on that now, and just various stuff like that. I haven't done any for about a week or so. I might do a roundup of what's happened since I done that rant in the those rants in the news, but they'll probably continue. But although it says a rant for a very stressed man at the start, I'm probably not that stressed unless something weird happens. Next up, now this is always a tricky one. In 2016, that's last year just gone, yeah, ages ago, wasn't it? My aim was to get 800 subs on the channel, because although views are more important than subs, individual ones I mean, not. You do see some channels where someone's very obviously watched their own video 200 times to boost the views and make it look more popular than it is. No, that's not good. So views are more important than subs, but the aim last time was to get 800 subs by the end of the year, which we smashed. I think we got about 850 by the end. So what's going to be the new target for the end of 2017? Well, I'm not quite sure I can do this. The amount of subs I get each month vary from 20 to 30, and it's like ducks down between those two and has done for ages. Whether the PlayStation 4 reviews make any difference, I don't know. Or whether doing more Spectrum games make any difference again, I don't know. But ambitious, because this is outside that estimate. By the end of the year, we're going to try and get 1,200 subs. Is that possible? Can that be done? Don't know again. It could happen, or I could fall a bit short, but the huge thing is going to get into 4 figures, because I'm sure that's going to happen at some point. And I see other channels get into 4 figures, basically ones I watch quite a lot, to be honest, because they're really good. And I say, yay, well done you, and then I never imagined I might get there, but it's gradually creeping up, and it's going to be a joyous occasion, I can tell you. I can tell you, that's it, that's you standing there. Another idea I had, I'm not sure this is going to come in because it'd be a bit complicated, but over the Christmas period there was 2 videos where it's me and Igor the Thunder Dwarf, if you're familiar with him, and we was commentating on some games on FIFA 17, which the AI was doing the game, to be honest. It was Bournemouth versus Barcelona, then Bournemouth versus Real Madrid, and we was commentating on that, having a bit of a laugh. Had a bit of a mixed response. Most people tend to like it. A few odd messages, which I can't repeat. But you're always going to get trolls, aren't you? And I think they're sad cases that need to get a life. No, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, no matter how stupid. So, yeah, based on that, we might do once a month, or maybe once every 6 months. I thought of doing a radio podcast, so in a sort of like a radio studio, where be myself, Igor, maybe one other person. We'd have special guests that phone in and we talk about games, have quiz shows, and it lasts about half an hour or an hour, something like that, and it'll just be funny. Would it? I don't know. Let me know what you think about that, but it's a potential at least. I think it could work well once a month, where we do a roundup of all games we played and experiences and all that sort of stuff. And we might have celebs that phone in, maybe edited a bit, but we'll pretend it's them, won't we? Yes. So that's the aims for 2017. Hopefully we keep to all of them, or maybe we won't. As I say, there might be some Q&As. If there are, I'll do a short video where you can put questions below. They went down quite well before, though we were running out of questions by the end. But a lot of time's gone by since then. You might have thought some other questions. So I'll put another video up at some point, ask some questions if we do that. I could very well have a Q&A session in 2 weeks' time to kick the year off. So yes, thank you for supporting the channel. If you're watching this and you're not a member of the channel, then please subscribe, that would be great. Thumbs up always help. I think they help with the search there. And yeah, if you can do that, that'll be wonderful. I do have my trolls that mark down every video straight away. One twit that's got multiple channels that lives in Canada, but I guess he's just a mental patient that's escaped, and he's a man to be pitied, really. It makes no real difference to me. I've learnt to control it, and quite often the time I don't check those anyway. So outgun him, give me a thumbs up when you watch the channel, and make his things irrelevant. So yep. Thanks again for watching throughout the year. If you're a new subscriber, then hopefully I can deliver great stuff in 2017. Until next time, take great care of yourself, have a wonderful weekend, and goodbye. Goodbye.